So,
Yep.
if we are live, we can start.
Hello and welcome once again to another webinar from us, the Advisor team. Today, we won't be covering VMware as a topic, but instead, we'll dive more into Proxmox and show you how a different virtualization solution can be monitored with Advisor. My name is still Sven, and I'm still a part of our European customer and customer success marketing and sales team. And I'm joined once again.
I'm Kristaps, and I'm an engineer working in Advisor.
Yeah. So today, this is a topic that is very relevant to a lot of users because with the recent acquisition of VMware by Broadcom, there has been a lot of uncertainty about how to use VMware in the future, about licensing, about pricing, and all of those topics. So that is one of the reasons why a lot of users of VMware are considering to move away from the solution. And one of the alternatives is Proxmox. So there's other reasons that make you choose Proxmox, like the open source flexibility, the previously mentioned cost savings, and so on and so on. But today, we will demonstrate how Advisor can help you monitor your Proxmox environment, or how you can transition from your VMware monitoring with Advisor to a Proxmox monitoring. We'll first give you a quick overview of Advisor again, both as a refresher for our long-term users, as well as a starting point for users with little or no experience with Advisor. Advisor itself isn't your average monitoring tool. It's a comprehensive performance analyzer designed for both day-to-day operations and in-depth troubleshooting across multiple virtual platforms and multiple virtualization platforms as well, like, for example, VMware and Proxmox. Many of you may be seasoned VMware users, and Advisor was originally built with VMware environments in mind. However, we've recognized the growing interest in platforms, like, for example, Proxmox, and we've turned Advisor into a multi-platform monitoring tool so that we can ensure a smooth transition and continued visibility even if you switch the solution you're using. Now, for today, our best starting point would be an exemplary transition from using Advisor for VMware to using Advisor for Proxmox, especially the previously mentioned recent trends, considering the previously mentioned recent trends in virtualization. So take it away, Kristaps, and show us how you would transition from VMware to Proxmox.
Thank you, Sven. First, let's make a transition from our presentation slide to our real environment. And today we are going to look into our cloud environment for the Advisor. So basically, I would say that we would like to start with actually showcasing the capabilities of the Advisor. As you mentioned in the introduction part, really, Advisor as a legacy was really intended and focused on VMware customers. But now, as we see more and more trends and our customers asking for alternative solutions, and do we actually support if they migrate away from VMware? We can actually say that on our daily routines, we really think about this topic, and we have made Advisor a really vendor agnostic tool. So let's say if we go to integrations, we can actually see lots of platforms already available, also including one of the major cloud platforms, AWS. So, but here today, of course, we are here to look at specific alternatives to VMware, and Proxmox is actually very common choice for customers, as Proxmox is quite simple solution and allows you to start quickly with it, so without any unnecessary complexity. So before we dive deep into the Proxmox integration, just a quick overview that I want to give you around the Advisor cloud platform and the way how you can navigate through. So basically, once you are at the root dashboard's inventory, you can actually quickly find what you need. And today we are looking for the Proxmox. So we look for the Proxmox in the search navigation, and we can quickly see the available dashboards that we have made dedicated for the Proxmox integration. So we move to the folder and go to one of the overview dashboards that we have here. And we quickly see our Proxmox cluster inventory consisting of multiple nodes. So just to give you a brief overview of our dev/test environments, here is our current Proxmox testbed. It contains of 3 nodes, and each of these nodes are equipped with our custom agent for the Proxmox. And to give you a very quick overview how you can install that into your Proxmox clusters environment, it's just a simple command line. So basically it takes one parameter, which is Optimizer API key, which you can get from our Optimizer cloud platform, and then execute a one-liner, which will install the service on your Proxmox node. While it's kind of enough to install the agent on any of your cluster nodes, it's very recommended, and we would suggest that you install it on all of your cluster nodes, because in case that any cluster node goes down, others could report that to Optimizer, and you would be able to see that there's an issue in your infrastructure. So before we go further into the dashboard specifics, today we want to demo you a quick way how you can migrate a virtual machine from your current VMware vSphere environment to Proxmox. And really, the Proxmox has thought about it, so they have different ways to do that. The simplest way, as they suggest in their official documentation, is that you do a direct transfer through the integrated storage provider, where they actually have added, as you can see, ESXi host capability. So basically, you could connect here to your vSphere environment and do a live migration for your virtual machines from the VMware into the Proxmox cluster. So let's try to quickly do that. Let's see how that works, and if it works, actually. So I'm going to call this resource or 100 DC, because it's related to the subnet that we use. So I'm going to put in the endpoint and the username. And we skip certificate verification, as it's our dev environment. We don't have a fully legitimate TLS certificate in place, and we don't restrict this resource to any nodes, so all nodes should have it. And okay, so we can't really name it like this. Okay, let's VC1. VC1 is fine. So just another ID, so that it won't complain about the name. And it's now trying to connect to the ESXi host to our vSphere environment, but it quickly actually fails with this error. And if you take it and if you look it up on the internet, you will see that many people actually encounter this issue, and so do we. We actually couldn't proceed as there is no quick way around it as we see it currently. Obviously, there are some thoughts and theories how you could resolve it. Some say that there's an issue with the ESXi firewall. The other say that there's an issue with the SOAP endpoint for the ESXi host, and so on. So we didn't dig deeper on that, but obviously, as I said, Proxmox has thought about migration. So there are other techniques like this than this. So I'm going to show you another one, which is quite quick. It's going to take less than 5 minutes, but it should succeed. So let me bring up a terminal, and here, if you see, we are on a PVE host, which is one of our Proxmox nodes. And in order to migrate one of our existing virtual machines from VMware, so I'm gonna show you where it is. So we have this deb jump box, which is a simple Debian instance, which is a Linux instance, and it's quite lightweight. So we should be able to easily move that to our Proxmox environment. So once again, back to our terminal. So, and with the help of OVF tool, which you can download from the VMware resources, you can specify your admin account or any other account with capabilities to do the export of the OVF template. And once you specify correctly your data center path towards the actual virtual machine, and in the end you specify the folder on the current system where to put it, you can actually run it. And well, yes, it would fail if you have powered on virtual machines. So let's quickly resolve that. Let's quickly take it down. So I'm gonna log in to do it gracefully. Let's become administrator, and let's do a power off of this tab jump box. So once it's powered down, we should be able to proceed with our export, and it's in progress. So while it does the export, let me give you a quick overview of the third solution, how Proxmox actually tries to, what Proxmox actually tries to offer as an export solution. So basically, they say that if you have a shared storage where both Proxmox and the VMware can access, and if you place on that storage your disk for your virtual machine, then actually the Proxmox could access that, clone that, launch the new virtual machine on the Proxmox environment, and then shut down the VMware part. So this would be another case which is more complicated to do that, to perform that migration, but it's less downtime. So kind of good alternative to this as well. So let's quickly move to our exported virtual machine. We see that there are a couple of files that we have retrieved: the VMDK disk file, the ISO file, and the OVF template manifest. So basically, once we have these, we can actually do the import into our Proxmox. So I'm gonna call it 301 for the ID, for the new ID, for the new virtual machine in the Proxmox environment. And here we go. The import goes. It's quite quick, takes less than a minute to complete. And once this completes, we can see that we should be able to see the newly created virtual machine in our Proxmox environment. We are currently importing it to node 1 of the Proxmox cluster, but definitely we could do it on any other node that we would like to. So, and it's done. So basically, if we now move to our Proxmox UI, we can see that that jump box is there. What we need to still do is to add the network adapter, as it lost it during the transfer, as VMware has their own specific resources. Proxmox as well have specific ones, so we just bring up another network device for this virtual machine, and this should be it. Let's give it a go. And it takes another minute before it finalizes the boot, but here we are nearly in 1 minute. We got to the login screen of the migrated virtual machine. So this is it. So this is how simple it is. It could be more simple if the integrated ESXi wizard would work, but what can we do? So let's wait for updates regarding that. So now let's move to the Optimizer dashboards for Proxmox. So here in this dashboard, we aim to give actually overview of the whole Proxmox infrastructure. We aim to show here the global counters, like how many nodes you have in your cluster, despite which node you select, you still see how many nodes are grouped for that specific cluster that the node is part of. Then we have the total Linux containers that we are having in our infrastructure. Same is for virtual machines. Also, we give an overview of how many powered on virtual machines or Linux containers we have in our infrastructure. In this view, you can see that actually this newly created or migrated virtual machine is also picked up. The state is not yet right one, but it's going to be one. It's going to be running in a minute or so, reported running, I mean. So also some simple metrics like CPU and memory usage is part of this dashboard. Further down, if we go, we can also see the attached storage, how that is doing, how many resources are allocated, and further down, disk IOs and network stats obviously are available. If we switch to longer period of time, we can see how it acts over the time. So in terms of all the resources, all the graphs correspond at any given moment, the time frame that you pick up here in the Grafana interface that we use here. So we can take one step back here and actually see other dashboards. So let's say if we go to the node dashboard, you will be able to find all the Proxmox cluster nodes that you have in your infrastructure and normal Linux counters that you would expect to see on any Linux host. So obviously, the CPU and memory stats are here. Also, it's the default currently to 15 minutes, but we can take a look at a longer period of time to see actually how it behaved during longer period of time and see how detailed the metrics look like in a longer period of time, I mean. So if you take a look at, let's say, the network interfaces, we can see that, let's say, if you would like to investigate it at a closer look, we can actually zoom in using, again, the interface capabilities and see how each and specific spike acts, and as you know, that network glitches, and other spikes could actually affect negatively your interface. So here we had the network that I wanted to show you. Yeah, so these spikes that I'm talking about. So also, obviously, network errors and network drops is a critical part that you would want to see in your infrastructure. So this is the essentials, what we bring along with any integration, any virtualization provider. So including the Proxmox, as you can see currently. So once again, moving back out of this dashboard, we can see two other dashboards, actually three that I want to show you today. So the other one is the storages. So an overview for all the storage resources across all the nodes. Obviously, we can filter each specific node in our cluster, let's say PVE2, and you can see how that behaves in terms of storage. And well, this panel on top of that gives an overview of all the cluster, and two other graphs would give specific node-based insights. So going back, we have two dashboards left. The one is CT overview, so basically Linux container overview, and here we have a bunch of powered down containers. The one is actually up, I think, or Django up test bench, and you can see different metrics like uptime, CPU, and memory consumption. together with detailed graphs, including the disk and network behavior of that specific container. So the same is for virtual machine overview. So once again, this is our newly migrated Debian jump box, and we can see that it starts to ship the data within actually a couple of minutes as we speak now. But we have other one, which is actually K3S lab is here as well, and our Deb Lightbox, which is another virtual machine, is here as well. For all of these, you can see essential metrics like disk memory, network, and CPU. So at your fingertips, everything is available here. So I guess this is it for high-level overview of our capabilities. As you saw, integration works as it should. All the cluster nodes are there, and even if you migrate a virtual machine now from your VMware environment, it's gonna appear in the Proxmox monitoring within a minute. So, Sven, back to you.
Now, after we've gotten all of the overview of the migration and of some of the general dashboards, can you give us a very short explanation how the overall Proxmox monitoring compares to the VMware monitoring? Because obviously, people will be moving from VMware to Proxmox, and then how can they compare the monitoring in Proxmox compared to what they could do before with our VMware monitoring?
While creating the Proxmox monitoring, actually, we thought about similarities that we had in VMware, in VMware solution as well in terms of monitoring. So here as well, we try to provide full stack monitoring capability, starting with the cluster overview, then diving deeper into the node performance metrics, as well as container and virtual machine and as storage as well, insights. Obviously, we don't have everything yet. What also compares to VMware, we have Proxmox specific alerting dashboards that we have here. So we can see that lots of panels report each and specific metrics, and normally we see that everything is good, but some of the cases obviously would actually here we have two alerts actually alerting. So and that is another feature that actually is the same for the same on Proxmox as well as on the VMware. So along with the monitoring, you get actually alerting, which is a very critical part of your infrastructure monitoring solution.
Absolutely. Alerting makes all the monitoring so much easier because you know what you need to look first and where you need to go and what you need to change. So, considering we still have a small bit of time left, let's also dive into some of the AI capabilities that we have with Proxmox and Opvisor monitoring of it, obviously.
Obviously, AI capabilities come with almost all of our product offerings, as well as with the Opvisor integrations. So the main thing to remember is that AI is available on each and every dashboard that you may have on your integration, and not only on each and every dashboard, but also on each and every panel in that kind of granularity. And once you select any panel, you can actually chat with it. So if I bring up AI Assistant on the CPU history panel, it actually should load, and then we can try to work with it. And what it does actually, it takes the context of your panel with the data and actually tries to help you to understand it better. So so let's try to ask what would be the common cause to see spikes in CPU history graph. So let's see how it reacts, and basically it comes back really quickly with educated guesses according to our graph and data inside it about the reasons, possible reasons, what could cause these spikes, and how you can solve it. Other features of the of our AI assistant could include the help to navigate you through our dashboards to more granular views and deeper kind of deeper performance metrics of each and specific issue. But the use cases vary. So others use that for automation. So you may ask them to give you a script that allows you to migrate your OVH template from your VMware to Proxmox. We could try to do that currently, but well, if you have more time, Sven, I'm not sure. What do you think?
I would say we can save that for a future.
We save that for a future.
Video.
That is fine as well. So let's do
But
it.
what you can see now as a viewer here is that the AI chat also works the exact same way that it does in Opvisor when you monitor VMware. It shows you the same things, gives you the same information, has the same capabilities, so that you can have an idea where to start, what the problem may be, just so you can get a deeper understanding of what is going on in your environment, regardless of whether it's in VMware or whether it's using Proxmox. Now, I would say that for today, that is a sufficient amount of content. So anything we've shown you today, if you could switch to the last slide, please, thank you. Anything that we've shown you today, you can also, again, try on the demo environment. You see the web address down there. It is demoml.codenotary.io. And just to give you a quick recap of what we've done today, we've quickly talked about what Opvisor is. We've shown the ways that you can use to migrate from VMware to Proxmox. We've demonstrated the capabilities of Opvisor when monitoring your Proxmox environment. Quickly touched on the differences in Opvisor between VMware and Proxmox, and then talked a short while about alerting and our AI in the Proxmox version of Opvisor. Now, for us, that is it for today. Thank you very much for your attention and for your time. If you have any questions, you can always contact us under the addresses seen below. And apart from that, see you next time.